You know, there's something I've been meaning to say. The day you left, the things that your father said, he didn't mean all of it. He was just angry. He had hopes and dreams for you, just as all parents do. When you said what you did, it was like you were taking all that away from him. It was like you were throwing all his hard work and effort in the trash. I know you think
Hey
he was
y'all,
being
it's
harsh.
Joefer here, the Cranky
I
Old
think you
Gay
used the
Guy.
word cruel.
And
He
tonight,
was just
I
mad.
am going to be reading a chapter or two, or maybe three. When I say chapters, I mean letters, from the book 35 Letters, Letters from a Mother to Her Son by Joefer Ferguson. And yes, Joefer Ferguson is also known as Joefer, and Joefer is known as the Cranky Old Gay Guy. So yeah, it's my book, and my picture's right there on the back cover. So I would love it if you guys would check it out. I'll leave a link in the description of this video. It's available on Amazon in all formats. It would make a great Christmas gift. It just would. If you're interested, I have a few hard copies here at home. And if it's something that maybe you want me to sign it for you, I do accept Venmo. So what I would do is I would pull the same price that's on Amazon, and then you'd need to pay for shipping if you want me to do that for you. And I could give you a little inscription or something. It's always great to have a hardback book signed by the author, right? So let me tell you a little about the book. I've done 2 readings of it so far on this channel. They're, I think, 3 months ago, and then another one about a month and a half ago. There's 35 letters. So far I've read, I think, 3 or 4. I'm going to read some tonight. This book is Americana, I think, at its best. It's a series of letters that how do I put this? A woman who's very restricted in her life by life circumstance, society, her husband. She's locked into a family. That's her whole thing, is family. This is 1972 in a small West Texas town. Husband's king of the castle. Wife does what she's told. She has the food on the table when daddy comes home. She wrangles the kids. It's the stereotype of a 1950s household in the 70s. It is fiction, and I did just make it up out of my mind. I started with a character, and I became that character, and I started writing, and all the characters in the book, I have taken their personality on to see how they would interact with the mother. Her name is Mildred, and she writes to them as if she would speak to them or lecture them or whatever she's doing. The book is, I think, it's very folksy, and again, it is Americana. It starts out a bit slow, and you're thinking, what is this about? Why isn't it going anywhere? Well, as you read the letters, the story builds. The letters do not have a response. Her son Gordon, who she's writing the letters to, did not send letters back. Or if he did, they're not in this book, because this is a bunch of letters that were found at the author, moi, on a fictitious trip to San Francisco. I went to an estate sale, and I found a box of letters. And in reading them, they were interesting enough, I thought that the story should be told, and I put them into a book. Now, was I really in San Francisco? No, that's what fiction means. Again, it's just the author, or the person in the foreword, that's me, just gives you a brief idea of what the letters are about and the challenges that this woman had. Is it a gay book? It is LGBTQ themed. However, it is from a straight woman's perspective. Again, she's really locked in to her role as mom and wife at this time, and by what the other women in town say. So that's what it is. She doesn't really even acknowledge that her son is gay until halfway through the book. I mean, she knows he is. That's why he's not there. He was kicked out of the house because daddy found out. So it's touching. There's a lot of historical facts in the book as well, things that were actually happening at that time, and a lot of the things that happened to Gordon. It's kind of an amalgamation of people I've talked to over the years. I know people who were banished from home for being gay. I know people who came from very religious homes who had to hide it. I know people who didn't get along with their fathers, not because they were gay, but just because they didn't get along with their fathers. And the way that Mildred speaks is very much like women of that era. I remember speaking in the 70s when I was younger. My mother used to write letters to me when I was off at school, and she wrote in the same folksy way that this Mildred does. She didn't say the things that Mildred said, and my mother wasn't really guilt-ridden or guilt-driven like the person in this book. This woman she's a little bit more, her sentences are more flowery, and she really uses a lot of words that my mother wouldn't use, but the tone is the same. I wish my mother was around to have read it, and she could tell me what she thought, but the book didn't come out until after her passing. So here we go. I'm going to read. I'm going to be looking down at this, so don't get offended. Okay, first letter I'm going to read today is March 16th, 1973. Gordon, sorry to start this letter off with bad news, but I know you needed to know. Ralph's dead. I told you in an earlier letter that he was getting older and not moving so fast anymore. Well, last Sunday, I let him out to do his morning business, and after an hour, he hadn't scratched on the door to get back in. I called and called for him, but he didn't come back. So I went to get your father. He just finished eating his morning eggs and didn't want to go out, but I persuaded him to go, just to look for Ralph anyway. He searched the neighborhood, but found nothing. On his way back home, he walked over to Weiler Avenue, the part along the ridge. That's where he saw Ralph, lying in the road. He'd been hit and killed. Evidently, he was moving too slow when crossing the road. By the wheel marks, looks like it was a big truck, and he didn't suffer much. Probably died right away. He had a good life, a long life, and I know that he was happy with us, even though he missed you something terrible. We don't know if or when we'll be getting another dog. We got Ralph pretty much for you kids, now that you're all growing up or moved away. We just don't know if another dog is in our future. We're getting older now and not moving too fast ourselves. Your sister Rachel sends her love. She wants you to know that she's in love with a boy named Samson. Yes, that Samson, the same one who gave her chocolates on Valentine's Day. I told her at 13 you can love whoever you want, but you can't do anything physical. She said she had no idea what I was talking about. We've had the menstrual talk, so I know she does. She is a handful, that's for sure. Be glad you don't have a daughter. Love as always, Mom. So this was one of the kinder letters that she sends Gordon. April 1st, or that was one of the kinder letters. April 1st, 1973. Hello, Gordon. It's a bright, sunny morning here, and spring is right around the corner. I can smell it in the air, and you know what a keen sense of smell I have. Remember that time I told you I smelled smoke, and then caught you and your school friend Bruce in the garage? I know you boys said you weren't smoking, but I did smell cigarettes, and you two were acting so nervous I knew something was up. Yeah. 5th grade boys don't act like they're trying to hide something unless they really are. This is just like that. Only this morning, I don't smell cigarettes. I smell spring. Have you noticed if spring has come where you're at? Do you have many trees? From what I see on TV, your city is all buildings and highways. Some buildings even have views of the ocean. I wonder what it would be like to live in a big city like yours. I think I'd feel lost in all the commotion and goings-on. So, in other news, your little sister Rachel's pregnant. Gotcha! April Fools! Has anyone else fooled you yet? Maybe I'm the first one. Don't worry about Rachel. Your father would kill any boy that tried to ruin her before marriage. Speaking of boys, we finally met her young beau, Samson. He's a sweetheart, very charming. He also is very much in love with the Lord. I think he may be more gung-ho for God than I am, if that's even possible. He says that Jesus is his best friend. Who could ask for more than that? You would like him, Gordon. He's a real upstanding young man. So your father mentioned you last night, indirectly. He was talking about starting that carpet cleaning business again. I mentioned that working with his son in the business is the way to go, and it would give him the best chance of success. He said he said that it wouldn't work because Truman was still too young and would only be able to help on weekends. He said that it was too bad that he didn't have another son running around. If you moved back home, you would be around. I know he didn't say your name, but he did say another son, and I know he was talking about you. I know he misses you. You are his first and oldest son. I don't remember what you're doing for a living. Did you tell me? You know, churches in every city are always looking for volunteers. You could check that out. Probably even meet a nice Christian girl there. A potential future wife? God works in mysterious ways, Gordon. Never underestimate him. You know, there's something I've been meaning to say. The day you left, the things that you said to your father, and the things that your father said to you, he didn't mean it all. He was just angry. He had hopes and dreams for you, just as all parents do. When you said what you did, it was like you were taking all that away from him. It was like you were throwing all his hard work and effort in the trash. I know you think he was being harsh. I think you used the word cruel. He was just mad. He didn't really mean he'd rather you be dead than what you said you were and what you wanted to be. He still loves you, Gordon. He just has a hard time showing it. We all love you. If you would come home, things could be okay again. You could tell him that you were just mad and didn't mean anything you said. If you wanted, we could also sit down with Pastor Tompkins. He could act as a neutral party between you and your father and help you work things out. I know he could help you, Gordon. He helped Esther Dorkin's son just last year, turned him right around. In fact, he just got engaged to a beautiful young woman the pastor set him up with. I'm told that she was troubled in her past as well. So you see, the pastor can channel God's love and make everything right. God has a plan for you, Gordon. Pastor Tompkins can help you discover that plan. Will you consider this for me? Will you consider it for your family? Please write back soon. So, as you can see in the end of that letter, she does get a little guilty as far as, shouldn't say guilty. She throws guilt around and she's trying to guilt him into, well, doing what she wants, coming home, apologizing to his old man who was in the wrong in my eyes. But I'm not Gordon, and I don't live in West Texas in 1972. So there we have it. That's today's. I'm going to stop at 2 letters. I want to keep it short. 35 letters. Letters from a mother to her son by Joseph L. Ferguson. Joefer, the Cranky Old Gay Guy. Again, if you want a signed copy, I can do that for you. Go ahead and look it up on Amazon so you know how much it costs. I don't know what the current cost is, but we'll make sure that we get your copy that way and I can sign it. And send me an email. Let me know what you want me to say. Providing it's not putting me in a bad light or making me uncomfortable, I'll write whatever you want in the book. And then I will mail it to you. You pay, again, shipping and handling plus the price of the book. Okay, that is everything. And I will see you all next time. And again, if you want to know a little bit more about me, I did appear in a video podcast from an Australian podcaster. It's called Naked Men Talking. You can look it up on Spotify. Again, I'm not going to link any information to that because of the nature of the podcast. I don't want to put the channel's ranking in jeopardy. Feel free to like this post, share this post, subscribe if you're not, tell your friends about me. I am trying to grow. Just so you all know, I was officially monetized today. Who knows how much commercials are going to pay, or where the commercials are going to go, or if an advertiser even thinks that they want to advertise on this channel. Someone asked me about sanitization. I am just trying to follow the terms of service of YouTube. I wish they were more lax or more open, but right now I'm going to stick with this and build the channel and do what I can to make it a success. So thank you all for watching. You are what make it a success, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.
You think he was being harsh? I think you used the word cruel. He was just mad. He didn't really mean he'd rather you be dead than what you said you were and what you wanted to be. He still loves you, Gordon. He just has a hard time showing it. We all love you. If you would come home, things could be okay again. You could tell him that you were just mad and didn't mean anything you said. If you wanted, we could also sit down with Pastor Tompkins. He could act as a neutral party between you and your father and help work things out. I know he could help you, Gordon. He helped Esther Dorkin's son just last year, turned him right around. In fact, he just got engaged to a beautiful young woman the pastor set him up with. I'm told that she was troubled in her past as well. So you